So Marvel Spider-Man 2 will be the latest game in the Marvel Spider-Man franchise, and it is set to be the biggest game of the three of them that have come out so far. And to be honest with you, I am really excited for this game, and I cannot wait to play it. And personally, I think it is going to be the best Spider-Man game of all time, and a lot of you think the same as well. But I have chalked it up to a couple of reasons as to why I am mainly excited for this game, and the reasons that I mainly think that this will top the previous two installments in the franchise and every Spider-Man game that has come out ever. So buckle up, because I am going to tell you, in my opinion, why I think Marvel Spider-Man 2 is going to be the greatest Spider-Man game of all time, and why you should be excited for it. Let's go. So first and foremost, the most obvious reason as to why this game is going to be the greatest Spider-Man game of all time is the fact that we are getting two playable Spider-Men in the same world, interacting with each other on a story and most likely as well free roam basis too, similar to how you can swap between the characters in a game like Grand Theft Auto 5, where you have 3 characters to pick between. Although this game probably won't likely have a third character playable option unless Venom becomes playable in this game. However, the likelihood is that considering Miles and Peter both play a crucial role in this story, from what we've seen from the announcement trailer and from what we've heard from the game, then we will most likely be able to switch between both Miles and Peter throughout the game. Which means that if you're in free roam, you'll just be able to switch between Miles and Peter, and obviously in between missions as well. Another cool feature that I'm really excited for, which I hope they implement into the game, but we haven't really heard much about it in terms of rumors and leaks, is that hopefully we can do the same mission twice, but from either Miles or Peter's perspective. I think this could be a cool way to spice the game up and do something that no other Spider-Man game has ever done before. Yes, we have had Spider-Man games in the past where you can play as more than one Spider-Man, but this will be the first game where there will be 2 playable Spider-Men in the same world. So how cool would it be if you could play the same mission, but you could do it as different Spider-Men? That would be absolutely awesome. Considering this is the 3rd game in the franchise and the combined sequel of the first game and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, they are likely to step it up a notch and introduce bigger and better elements to the game. Something that gets me excited as to what they might implement in this game for both Miles and Peter is that, similar to Spider-Man Web of Shadows, where you could switch between the normal Spider-Man costume and the symbiote Spider-Man costume, we will probably see that Miles and Peter have 2 different sets of unlockable moves and abilities, which would mean there is more of an incentive to play as both Miles and Peter throughout the game, because they will both have unlockable abilities and moves. Peter will probably have more gadgety type things to unlock, where Miles might have some stuff to unlock as his Venom blasts or his invisibility moves. Maybe Miles has some things to unlock in that region, whereas Peter could be more tech-based, and there would be more of an incentive to play as both of the characters. Moreover, I am really excited to see how they handle the unlockable suit situation in this game as well. If we are to be playing as both Miles and Peter Parker in this game, which we most likely are, both of them will most likely have a set of unlockable suits. And considering both Miles and Peter had unlockable suits in their first solo games, this game is going to step it up a notch for both of them as well, meaning that we're most likely going to be getting unlockable suits for both of them, and we're probably going to be getting more than we did in the first games. And not only that, we will probably get a variety of symbiote-based suits as well, if Peter Parker or Miles Morales is to inherit the symbiote at some point within the game as well. So it's fair to say that if Miles and Peter are both playable in this game, there is a lot to be excited for in terms of unlockables, in terms of suits, and definitely in terms of story-based and gameplay mechanics. And this is one of the many reasons as to why this is probably going to be the biggest and the best Spider-Man game of all time. The endless potential for Miles and Peter's gameplay mechanics and story mechanics in this game alone is enough to get me excited for this game. But not only that, we also have a bunch of interesting stuff happening with the villains as well, especially Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter has appeared twice in Spider-Man games thus far, once in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game adaptation from the movie. Now, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions kind of had a more combat-based story where you would travel from mission to mission, basically hunting down the main villain of that level. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions was more of a beat-em-up type game, where the villain didn't really have much backstory. You were just led to believe that it was the same villain that you just knew from the comics. And it's fair to say that TASM 2 tried to do something with Kraven and the story, but as the fandom always says, that game doesn't really hold up and not a lot of people like it. So given the track record that Marvel's Spider-Man and Insomniac games have, it's fair to say with this game going bigger, better, and longer than ever, that Kraven the Hunter is going to get the undevoted attention that he so fairly deserves. And I'm really excited to see how they will handle this character. One of the many criticisms that I have on the symbiote and the character of Venom in Spider-Man games is that he is severely overused. And even though they seem to be doing something different with Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2 because Harry Osborn seems to be the one at the helm with the symbiote, like all of the hints have been pointing towards, Venom is still severely overdone in Spider-Man games. He has been the main villain of Web of Shadows, one of the original Spider-Man games, Spider-Man 3. He's also been in Spider-Man Friend or Foe. He's now in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. It's fair to say that video game developers really like the character of Venom, which is fair enough, but I'm excited to see new villains like Kraven the Hunter, which really haven't had the service that he properly deserves in a Spider-Man game. And I'm excited to see how the creators behind the story at Insomniac Games really do deliver his story and his character in this game. And I'm just really excited to see how this game handles him and to see what kind of story they give us. Another reason as to why this game is going to be one of the best Spider-Man games of all time is the expansion and the setup of Norman Osborn. No Spider-Man video game franchise has ever made it 3 games in with a continuous story, which means that video game franchises surrounding Spider-Man have never had the chance to set up a long-term antagonist for the games. But now that we have got Insomniac making this Spider-Man franchise, they are now setting up Norman Osborn to be the main antagonist of the whole series. Obviously with him becoming the Green Goblin later on at some point down the line. And this is something I am really excited for, as the hints were firmly planted throughout the first game in Marvel's Spider-Man. And then the post-credit scene of Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales also setting this up as well. And I'm sure if Green Goblin doesn't end up eventually showing up in the second game, that when we get round to Marvel Spider-Man 3, he will most likely be the main antagonist. So what I'm really excited for is to see the progression in Norman's character, to see the downfall of Norman Osborn play out in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Either way, given the story that has been set out in the first game and given the story that was continued through Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, we are in for a very rocky, bumpy, and emotional ride in Marvel Spider-Man 2. The stakes are set, the story is set, the characters are firmly planted. And I do think that they will continue the story to be stronger than ever in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Along with the gameplay mechanics that we mentioned at the start of the video, I do believe that Marvel Spider-Man 2 will firmly be the greatest Spider-Man game of all time. And I will eat my words if it isn't, because based off everything we've seen, based off the leaks and the rumors, and also based off the potential that this game has, by having both Miles and Peter present in this game, it is unmatched. And I'm guaranteeing that this game will land, and I'm guaranteeing that this game will be one of the best Spider-Man games, if not the best Spider-Man game of all time. With that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. This video was a little bit of an off-the-cuff kind of ranty video, why I'm really excited for Marvel Spider-Man 2. I've got a video coming out on Saturday about the perfect story for Marvel Spider-Man 3. I know that kind of seems a little bit out of whack because Marvel Spider-Man 2 hasn't even come out yet, but trust me, you ain't going to want to miss that video. So make sure you're subscribed, make sure to hit the post notification bell, make sure to join the members page for early access to new videos and exclusive sporadic content throughout the months. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.